Now, if you see, the cannabinoid receptors are not only stimulated by cannabis. There are also other herbs that can stimulate the cannabis receptors. One of the most simple herb is black pepper or beta-carophyllene. Now, black pepper, everybody has heard about biopeprin, right? Because you add it to your curcumin, right? That's why when you make curry, you add pepper and you add haldi, and then you add oil, okay, and then you make your curry. But this black pepper also contains something called beta-carophyllene. And this beta-carophyllene is a very good, pain, pain blocker or a pain receptor blocker. So that's an important take home. So your patients with pain on cannabis not getting better, add some beta-carophyllene to that, add some oregano to that, because oregano contains caprylic acid. Caprylic acid, what is the importance of caprylic acid? Caprylic acid is nothing but your MCT, medium chain triglyceride. Now, this medium chain triglyceride kills most of your candida in the gut and helps in the production of fungal diastase, what we were talking about, right? So your fungal diastase starts taking away your sugar, your caprylic acid produces your MCT, the person starts, and the story of cancer cells where they survive in high sugar and low oxygen. So how do you treat low sugar and high oxygen? Ozone is nothing but high oxygen, right? Oxygen is life. Oxygen is life. You can't survive without oxygen. And I would say ozone is also life. You can't survive without ozone. Literally. Because if the ozone layer around the earth breaks up, that will be the end to all life on earth. Because the ozone layer protects us from everything. So the take home for is the fungal diastase. So you get tablets of fungal diastase available. So you can supplement with fungal diastase to people. Start them on trypsin, chymotrypsin. Okay? These are proteolytic enzymes. Another proteolytic enzyme to break solid tumors is bromelain, protease. Okay? Another protease enzyme is bromelain. From where do you get bromelain? Pineapple. Papain. From where you get papain? Papaya. Very good. Another thing is, those of you who eat non-vegetarian food or meat, you use papain and bromelain as a meat tenderizer, right? You add little papain and bromelain in that. So, if you have a tumor that is hard and you want to break it down, what will you give? You give papain, bromelain, amylase lipase. Now, when a tumor starts breaking down, generally you will see disintegrated parts of the tumor. If it's in the breast, usually it starts coming out. If it is anywhere, secretions will be produced. There will be pain because that the broken down products have to be taken away and cleaned. They have to be cleaned by the lymph nodes. They have to be cleaned by the liver. So they are taken. So the patient complains of pain. At that time, you also give them CBD, correct? That's how so that they feel good. They have a lot of rush of good endorphins. And I'll tell you something, endorphins are one of the most best medicine in the world that our human body can produce. It can cure everything. If there is one medicine that can cure everything, it is endorphin, or it is human endorphin. Unfortunately, there is no capsule or supplement available for endorphin. Exercise, you need to laugh. Yeah. Because laughing also produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide causes vasodilatation. So that definitely helps in the treatment of everything. So we talked about solid tumors, how to break them down, how to take care of the byproducts. Along with the cannabis, if the pain doesn't go, I said add something, beta-carotene, that is nothing but black pepper, okay? Now, when I say black pepper, now in India, there are 3 or 4 different types of peppers. Now, when I talk about pepper, I talk about Pipericum longum, okay? The actual pepper, not the chili peppers. Because chili pepper contains something called capsaicin, which is also a painkiller. And that's a different story anyway. If you see, there is something called long pepper, Pipericum longum. This is one of the best foods you can have for triglycerides. It works better than your phenofibrates. But you need to have 3 or 4 pieces of those Pipericum longums in your curry every day, or in your sambar, or in your food. Don't add just a pinch. Add 3 or 4 whole pieces, then it will actually work. So your cancer patient, I told you how to break down the tumor, take care of the pain naturally, give them melatonin, because melatonin is also produced in the brain in the substantia nigra. Okay? Now, how do you stop melatonin production? Absolutely. Just look at your mobile phones. And what is the light? The blue light. Okay? Now, if you see, some years ago, there was a company called Allergan. Okay? It still exists, by the way. They make intraocular lenses. And do you know how to block out blue light? Put a yellow color film in between. Okay? So the blue light gets cut off. So they made intraocular lenses with blue blockers. But you can't block blue light during the day. That was a mistake that was made. If you take off blue light, and if you use a yellow film, to watch everything, life becomes very boring. Because the color contrast actually comes into play when you add blue light to it. You can go home if you have a computer, or if you have a Photoshop program, cut off all the blue. It will look very boring. You add the blue and you'll see the beauty to it again. So blue light has to be cut off only after dusk. Okay, not during the entire day. That's a mistake what everyone does. And if you see most of the LED lights that we have, they are single spectrum, double spectrum. They are not an entire spectrum of light. They are between 500, 600, that type of a spectrum. But sunlight has everything, right from the infrared to the ultraviolet. So just sitting in the sun resets your melatonin cycle.